Hello everyone, I'm going to show how to change the upper motor mount in a Mazda 5 that's found on top of the transmission in front of the driver. The symptoms for me are when I'm driving at slow speeds and turning to the right, the vibration is pretty terrible. So the motor mount unfortunately is found under the battery box and under the air cleaner, so we'll have to remove those. The other motor mount is found right on the side of the engine in the front of the passenger, and there's another one underneath the engine and transmission, which is pretty easy to get to, but this one unfortunately is pretty buried. So let's get to work. Cover it off, and battery cover. Computer cover comes off. Now this air cleaner intake. Okay, so now we're gonna have to remove the cover of the air cleaner, which is held by 4 clips, 2 to the side. There is one in here that's pointing right there, pointing towards the front of the car, and there is one behind. Also, there is a bracket that's holding up this this pipe. So let's remove this little pipe here. Using a Phillips screwdriver, we're going to remove this collar right here. Okay, and now the 4 clips. Okay. There's a little bracket that's holding a hose here. There we go. And the all-important airflow sensor connector that has to come out. So push on the back of it, slide it out. Okay, this is the air filter, obviously. It's going to come out. This is the bottom of the box. We don't necessarily have to remove it, but it will give us better access to everything else. It's not held in by any screws. There are just 2 rubber grommets that hold it together, but there is right here this rubber outlet that you have to pull up and over, and that's how you remove it. Just going to store it here. And now just gently pull up and the air cleaner box will come out. Here are the mounts and the 4 clips, and these are the grommets that hold it together. Okay, now time to remove the battery. So removing the battery, remember, always remove the negative first and always put it back last. This is a 10mm screw right in there. So the point is, if I touch the chassis of the car while I'm working on the negative side of the battery, nothing will happen because that is connected directly to the negative side of the battery. Once I removed it from the battery, now the negative side of the chassis of the car is not connected to the battery, so now I can work on the positive side. Even if I touch the chassis, no short circuit will happen. There we go. Battery now is removed. Now we have to take out the bracket that's holding the battery in place. So the way you remove the battery when you want to change your battery, this part slides a little bit up and then falls over like this. There is a zip tie that's holding this wire down. You may need to cut that. But now we can go ahead and remove the battery. The battery box is held by 3 10mm screws, which you're going to remove now. So the screws are removed from the battery box, but now we have these connectors that go, I think, what is part of the computer. These white handles slide up, and then the connector comes out. We want to figure that out. So there they are, and now the battery box can be removed. Just slide that. So this is the engine mount. With this one screw, you will drop the engine down, so supported with a jack. There are 4 17 millimeters right here up front too. Nuts that hold this bracket in place, and 2 10 millimeter screws right there. There is also a small screw, 10 millimeter, that holds up the wire bracket. There is an extra bracket that goes on top here, and this is what I'm going to put back because I forgot the first time I took it apart. Okay, so now we're putting it all back together. Here goes in the battery box for the computer. There is a bracket that holds the brake fluid pipe here. And it's not pretty easy, although it seems that's fighting me. Alright, so the screws on the bottom of the battery box are in. So we're going to put the first connector in. Remember, this white handle goes up, and then as it goes in, it slides down and locks in place. Second one, same. And that's that. We're going to put the battery in, and we should be very close to the end. The bracket that goes on top of the battery is actually very important. Without it, the battery will rock around, and it may actually cause short circuits to occur, which will cut out your electric steering. Alright, so now we have to replace this plastic wall that's holding the battery compartment separated from the rest of the car. Make sure the wires are all going into the right place. This is the negative again, this is the positive. We can go ahead and connect it now. So place the positive in first, get your 10 millimeter wrench and tighten it gently up. Again, if we tighten the plus first, if I was to touch now the chassis, nothing would happen. However, if I would have the negative connected already, then I would be in a little bit of trouble. I would short circuit the battery. So now I can tighten the negative. Again, if I touch the chassis, nothing bad is going to happen because that wire is connected to the chassis. Okay. So now the battery is connected. Replacing the cover for the computer's connectors. And the battery cover, although we'll have to lift it up a little bit later. There are some slits cut on the side for the negative wire to come out. So make sure it's all connecting. Then it's the air cleaner time. Now we're going to place the air cleaner box in, pressing on these two plastic mounting points. Just a little bit of pressure. This is the connector for the airflow sensor, which you should not forget. And let's not forget that rubber eyelet that goes in here. Very easy mounting method. And all we have to do now is to place the filter on top, and then the cover will come back then. One here towards the front of the car, 2, 3, and 4. So place the air filter cover up, connect the air intake. PCV, probably. Okay, there we go. And here go the clips. The airflow sensor going back in. This is our fresh air intake. This goes up. Unclip it again. There we go. And of course the famous engine cover. Engine cover is back on. Everything is back on. Just this battery cover doesn't want to stay nice here because the negative wire didn't get placed properly. But then everything else is fine. That's it.